Most people believe the greatest danger in the ocean has teeth. They picture dorsal fins cutting through the surface, shadows circling below, sudden violence from beneath. But history tells a far more unsettling story. In many maritime disasters, survivors escaped the sinking ship. They avoided the predators. They made it into rafts, onto debris, sometimes even into lifeboats. And still, they never made it home. Because what kills most ocean survivors is not what people fear. It is what they underestimate. When a vessel goes down, the first enemy is chaos. Cold water steals your breath almost instantly. Your heart rate spikes. Your muscles tighten. Your thoughts narrow. Training disappears. Logic fades. Your brain shifts into a single command: survive. But if you make it through those first violent moments, something quieter begins to unfold. And it is often far more dangerous. Adrenaline fades. The shouting stops. The wreck slips beneath the surface. And suddenly, there is nothing but horizon. No engines. No passing ships. No aircraft overhead. Just distance in every direction. This is the moment the real survival battle begins. Because now, the greatest threat is no longer the ocean. It is the human mind. Survival at sea is rarely decided in the first hour. It is decided in the hours that follow. When reality fully arrives, the brain struggles with uncertainty. It searches for control where none exists. And for many survivors, this is where the first fatal mistakes are made. Not dramatic mistakes. Not reckless heroics. Small decisions, driven by quiet panic. Some begin drinking seawater, convinced a little cannot hurt. But salt accelerates dehydration, pulling water from the body faster than thirst can justify. Others abandon flotation too early, attempting to swim toward shapes on the horizon that never grow closer. Many overexert themselves, burning precious energy the body will soon desperately need. The ocean does not reward urgency. It rewards patience. Yet patience is one of the hardest psychological states to maintain when surrounded by endless water. Across decades of maritime investigations, survival experts have noticed repeating patterns. Those who remain calm dramatically increase their chances of being found. They conserve energy. They stay with wreckage. They reduce exposure. They think in measured steps instead of emotional reactions. Most importantly, they control their thinking. Because the moment the mind begins to spiral, survival odds begin to fall with it. Experienced sailors have long understood something that rarely makes headlines: you are not just surviving the ocean. You are surviving your own instincts. Fear urges movement. Wisdom often demands stillness. There is a reason seasoned mariners speak quietly about what they call the second night. The first night is usually fueled by adrenaline. Hope is still strong. Rescue feels imminent. By the second night, the psychological landscape changes. Exhaustion sets in. The body stiffens from cold and salt. Hunger begins whispering. And the mind starts asking dangerous questions. Did anyone see us? Are they searching? Or are we already forgotten? Hope, when shaken, can transform from a survival tool into a psychological weight. This is the hour when discipline matters most. And when many begin to lose it. Sharks capture imagination because they are visible threats. They create dramatic stories. But statistically, they are rarely the deciding factor in maritime survival. The far greater dangers are slower. Exposure draining body heat. Dehydration clouding judgment. Sun weakening the body by day. Cold tightening it by night. And beneath it all, the steady erosion of clear thinking. The ocean rarely needs to attack. It simply waits. Time becomes its ally. And time is merciless to those who panic. Veteran captains often repeat a simple truth: you do not conquer the ocean. You respect it. Respect shapes preparation. It shapes decision-making. It keeps ego from writing checks the body cannot cash. Because arrogance disappears quickly at sea. The water does not care how experienced you are, how strong you are, or how confident you felt before departure. Out there, humility is not philosophy. It is survival equipment. There is a phrase that has echoed through maritime culture for generations. Respect the ocean. Not as poetry. Not as metaphor. But as instruction written in the outcomes of those who underestimated it. Respect keeps the mind steady when fear begins pressing in. It reminds you to conserve energy, to think clearly, to resist impulsive choices. Survivors who understand this do something remarkably simple. They slow down. They breathe deliberately. They focus only on what can be controlled. Because survival is rarely about dramatic action. More often, it is about disciplined restraint. The ocean does not negotiate. It does not adjust itself to human expectation. And it does not forgive carelessness. Many who vanished beneath open skies were not defeated by creatures below them, but by the silent battle within. Fear that grew unchecked. Thoughts that turned against them. Decisions made too quickly. In the end, the greatest survival tool you will ever carry onto the water is not strength. It is not speed. It is not even equipment. It is the mind you bring with you. And your ability to keep it calm when the horizon offers no reassurance. Because long before rescue arrives, survival is decided internally. Stay patient. Stay disciplined. And above all, respect the ocean. In the silence, survivors clutch onto floating debris, their bodies adrift yet tethered to the memories of what was lost. Daylight wanes, casting a soft glow over the endless water, painting the scene with a bittersweet beauty that belies the harsh reality. Each wave is a reminder of vulnerability, a gentle push that feels both calming and foreboding. As the sun dips lower, shadows stretch across the surface, mixing hope with despair, while their minds grapple with thoughts of rescue that grow fainter as darkness descends. The first night drags on, an eternity filled with restless minds and aching bodies. Each sound of water lapping against wood echoes the uncertainty in their hearts, a reminder of their fragility in an indifferent ocean. The darkness deepens, and the cool air wraps around them like a shroud, a silent warning that survival is slipping away. They share whispered reassurances, little truths meant to fortify shaking spirits, even as the cold seeps into their bones, clouding judgment with creeping doubt. Moments pass, and a quiet desperation begins to settle like thick fog over their thoughts. As the second night looms, exhaustion becomes an inescapable burden, weighing heavily on their limbs and minds. Eyes scan the horizon, searching for familiar shapes that refuse to appear, and every fleeting sound merges with their fears. Thoughts spiral like the waves around them, questions of abandonment and isolation gnawing at their hopes. Are we already forgotten? The whisper of doubt lingers in the air, thickening the tension. Yet amidst the chaos within, a flicker of instinct urges them to hold on. Survival is still a choice. In the deepening dark, they remember to breathe deeply, focusing on the rhythm of their hearts, that steady pulse reminding them that they are still alive. The moon casts a silver path across the restless water, an unexpected guide in their struggle against the night. Each survivor fights against the tide of despair, clinging to manufactured courage in spite of the gnawing hunger and unyielding cold. As long as there is breath, there is hope, and they exchange glances that speak volumes. They are not completely alone, even in this vast emptiness. Within the silence, the real battle rages on, the struggle to silence the mind's creeping fear, to quiet the insistent voices that whisper of defeat. Each heartbeat echoes a reminder that survival requires more than mere existence. It entails the determination to withstand emotional tempests that threaten to wash them away. Amid the cold, they muster warmth from the shared experience of their plight, recognizing that connection can be as vital as food. The ripples of their shared resolve grow stronger, intertwining their fates like the strands of a frayed rope, binding them against the darkness. They remind one another to keep breathing, not just to survive but to find meaning in their endurance, to hold fast to the belief that dawn will come. As hope cautiously dawns in their hearts, the horizon awaits a signal, whispering that resilience, not surrender, defines their next move. The first light of dawn creeps over the horizon, delicate and deceptive, casting a soft glow on the water that still holds the chill of night. Survivors squint against the brightness, their eyes searching for signs of rescue, yet the vastness of the ocean remains unchanged. The quiet morning brings with it a renewed awareness. The shadows of desperation recede momentarily, making way for fragile optimism. Each heartbeat sinks with the gentle lapping of waves, a rhythmic reminder that they are still afloat, still fighting. They take turns watching the distant line where sky meets sea, willing planes or boats to appear, their bodies heavy with fatigue but spirits flickering with determination. As the sun ascends higher, the chill begins to lift, but the tension within them tightens. They grapple with the paradox of survival. Hope must be nurtured but tempered with the reality of their plight. Each flicker of movement in the distance stirs their hearts, a testament to the thin line that separates despair from possibility. They whisper plans, strategies born from quiet contemplation, reminding themselves that hope requires action, however small. The first morning light feels like a fragile promise, yet it brings both warmth and uncertainty, teasing their senses with the illusion of safety. They stretch stiff limbs, muscles protesting, and reflect on the previous night's whispers, rekindling a collective resolve to persevere. The ocean, still and blue, becomes a mirror of their fears, each wave holding the memories of struggle while simultaneously urging them to remain steadfast. "We will find our way," one whispers, the words fusing hope and conviction into the air, igniting a small flame against the backdrop of vast emptiness. Eyes scan the horizon relentlessly, searching for anything, a distant ship, a helicopter, those signs of life that remain elusive like a mirage. As their hearts race with unyielding determination, they gather their strength through subtle exchanges, reassuring nods that communicate solidarity against the looming unknown. They remind each other of the fierce spirit that resides within, even as the weight of fatigue threatens to crush it. Survival is not just an act of perseverance but a testament to the human spirit, a dance with the ocean that requires patience, resilience, and above all, faith in the dawn that follows even the darkest of nights. With the sun gaining strength, a shared breath of determination courses through them, an unspoken pact to endure. As the heat begins to thaw their chilled bodies, the sun illuminates the fragments of wreckage around them, a stark reminder of their past. Each survivor meticulously inspects their surroundings, eyes scanning for anything that could aid their survival, a piece of drifting debris becoming a lifeline. "We'll make it," one survivor finally says, their voice a fragile banner of hope amidst uncertainty. The words are small but weighty, anchoring them against the overwhelming vastness. Each heartbeat steers them away from despair, shifting focus from what was lost to what still exists, their will to survive. "Stay alert," one murmurs, scanning the horizon once more, pulled between reality and their fading hopes. In the end, resilience amidst despair becomes their strongest current, one that supports them through every wave of uncertainty. With each moment they hold on to hope, they redefine survival, not merely as staying afloat, but as thriving in the face of insurmountable odds. They carry forth the lesson learned: respect the ocean, embrace the struggle, and never lose sight of the light that dawns even in the darkest hours.